I praise God our Father and His only begotten divine Son, Jesus Christ. Thank you, friend, for joining me today. Thank you so much for your prayers and support for this ministry. It is a joy to send the message to those who are willing to listen, those who are truth seekers. Before I share to you our series for this week, it's called Back to the Roots part three. And I have some friends here who are joining our conversation. I'd like to thank you all for your patience and also for allowing us to be a part of your uh, conversation today, wherever you are. In this time of crisis. So let us begin with a word of prayer. I would just like to bow my head and offer a prayer. Our Father in heaven, I praise you and I thank you that we could be here. And I would like to give glory and honor to your name. May we all return to Eden. May we all return to the book of Genesis, to the holy word, that we may find healing, that your spirit, your Holy Spirit may comfort us, and that we will be able to prepare for the sealing time as we are approaching the greatest tribulation, the mother of all troubles that will come upon this earth. But praise be to you, we will be able to be delivered by your Son Jesus Christ. And in his name I pray, Jesus our Messiah. Amen. So today I would like to share with you our first day in this five-part series that I call Back to the Roots. And we'll talk about health, and we'll talk about country living. We'll talk about anything that can help us not only survive, but prepare for the sealing of the Father of God. So this day I would like to entitle this as the healing crisis. I don't know if you've heard about that healing crisis. I took it from a chapter of one of the books that I would like to share with you today, and also probably have your conversation. And how do we work for the people that are intemperate? The word intemperate is is rather clear. People nowadays, believe it or not, brothers and sisters, are losing control not only of uh, you know, their lives, but also their health, above all, especially their health. So we are losing control. So that's why we would like to educate people that there is hope. There is this importance of going back to being sober, being able to take charge of your decisions, meaning taking self-control. In the Bible language, it's self-denial, because the Bible always reminds us that our carnal heart, our nature is sinful. So we need a savior, and that savior is Jesus Christ. So today, let me share with you this um, chapter in the book Natural Remedies. And I would like to, if you have questions or thoughts, please feel free to uh, comment on the section that we can read. And also for those of you who are here, you can, what they call this, you can interject and we can have some discussion. All right. So I would say that there is indeed a healing crisis. But what is the healing crisis according to this book that I'm presenting to you? It says here, physicians and laymen have known about the healing crisis for thousands of years. Layman. During the healing process, the body tries to overthrow off toxins and poisons. What is known as the healing crisis frequently occurs in illnesses, and I think that is very important to understand in our time today. Especially flu season is here, and then there's so many diseases. Even there are diseases that are called disease X. I don't know if you've heard about disease X. It's a disease that perhaps will resist any antibiotics that the drug manufacturers throws off at them. But in any way, the body seems overwhelmed with all the toxins and waste it is trying to throw off. The organs of elimination, bowels, kidneys, lungs, skin, nasal passages, throat, bronchi, and urinary organs become congested, crowded, and irritated. And I think this is true. Even right now, personally, I'm fighting with some of these what they call this toxins and yeah, fighting over the colds sometimes. According to this book, during this crisis, that which appears to be disease symptoms appear to be disease symptoms appear. This may be open sores, perspirations, diarrhea, boils, colds, kidney, bladder infections, fevers, etc. By the way, there's one of our brothers who did ask for a prayer today. They're having flu in this brothers and his family in this winter season. So yes, we that's why we had to take charge of our health. But this is not a new or intensified disease. It's just part of the healing process. So that is what healing crisis is trying to remind us. It's part of the healing process. The body knows it must eliminate the waste before it can begin rebuilding. So it works valiantly to do this. Physicians or doctors sometimes try to stop the process by introducing poisons or drugs into the system. And this is where we can probably rate, taking drugs just to make us feel better, it may not be the best for our natural what they call this immunity. Immediately, the body stops throwing off waste, stops the crisis, and turns its attention to the terrible new invader, the pharmaceutical drugs. The body may appear to be resting quietly now with the symptoms reduced or gone, but in actuality, it has been prostrated by the drugging, meaning it's just a masking effect, so to speak. Let us now return to a healing crisis and its symptoms. They are part of the cure. Healing crisis is part of the cure and should not be feared. So, what I personally do is when I am not feeling well, I don't know if you can relate. Thank you, Sister Melinda, for joining us. We are live stream. What I normally do if I'm not feeling well, or let's say if I'm having some pains or aches, I know that is a signal. It's a signal something is not right with what I have put in my body. So what I do is I try to recall the inventory of my intake during yesterday or today. So today was a very challenging one. I had a little burning sensation. You're feeling like I wanted to urinate but cannot urinate or something. So I tried to inventorize what I have eaten and what I should eliminate or what I should stop, and then check if that will help. And so far, I did try to eliminate some of the things that I have eaten, and a little bit it helped. And my point being is, instead of taking drugs, we do inventory of what we we did eat, and backtrack a little bit and say, hold on, what causes this stomach upset here? What causes because what we put in has an effect to our system. So um believe it or not, I don't know if you can relate to my experience here. I used to have a very sharp pain on the what they call this, on my ankles, on my specifically my left ankle. And I was wondering, what my wife would tell me, go to the doctor, have it checked. That's the normal routine, right? That's the normal statement. Go to the doctor, have it checked. I said, wait a minute, I'll just have to go online and see if I could, see if it is becoming worse. And I described the pain and stuff like that. And it's something like goutish in my research. It's like gout. It's like it could be rheumatism. It's so painful. I don't know if you have experienced that pain, especially now that I am about to turn Jubilee, brothers. I am praising God. It's Jubilee. So I'm Jubilee now. Is it correct? Jubilee is 50? Yes. So I'm about to be 50 this month. So And you know, a little fun fact, not a fun fact, but a little fact about my life. My father died at 56 of cancer. So my mother died 30, I mean, my father died 57 of cancer. He was 57. My mother died 36 of cancer. Yeah, also cancer. So I told my wife, if something happens to me at the age of 56, because my father died of prostate cancer, they said it's in, you know, you can inherit. And I was scared. I said, oh, yeah. So I told my wife, 6 years from now, if I'm not, you have to prepare. But I'm bringing this up to you because we can take charge of our health and not be subjected to you know, subjected to what the doctor will say, or what they don't have to say to our health. We have to say to our health. We know our health. They would ask us, what do you feel? What you know, they would take note, and they would make the best educated guess they can, perhaps sometimes. So um my family spent a lot of money for in order for them to survive, but they did not survive. That's why I'm very passionate about you know, taking charge of your health, being healthy, and being what they call this, being able to make the decision for your own. Because you know, I'm sorry, but I would rather give my money to the farmer than to the doctor. I'm so sorry to say that, but that's what's, you know, that's my opinion. That's my, you know, I would rather have them for, you know, make my food as my medicine, rather than take medicine that we know it's coming from corporation or those who would like to profit. So this healing crisis here, I think, is very important for us to understand. Sometimes our body just needs to fight on its own, using its natural soldiers, our immune system. But what's happening now, majority of those who are in pain, or they are having symptoms, they what do they do? Tylenol. The first thinking, I have a headache. Go take Tylenol. You know, so right now, I would like us to take charge, to make that accountability and responsibility. As I've said, inventory of what you have intake. I don't know if you will agree with this or you have disagreement. Any other thoughts on, you know, backtracking on what you eat, and probably you can be able to describe your pain. And anyway, internet is accessible. You know, they could have some more. You just have to be able to deduce or do some research, so that you will probably perhaps also make a best case scenario, because the doctors would, they don't really know what's happening to you unless they see the results from the test. But I think our body was created by God for us to be able to self healing. Any thoughts and questions so far in what I've been saying? Thank you, my family are here. Yes, Brother Gary, is there any comments that you could share to our viewers as well here?
Well, on the ankle, thought came to mind that it could be arthritis.
You're right. It could be. Yes, I was thinking about that. Rheumatism. It could either be of the three: gout, rheumatism, arthritis. Yes, because those are the pain-like the symptoms fit their description in the internet. Correct. So
Mhm.
so what I did. This is what I did, and it works for me, but it may not be work for you. But I'm just sharing this to you because this is my honest experience. What I did is I inventorize all what I have taken for the past week, for the past year, for the past months, and for the past few days. So I recall that I've been taking a lot of this soy milk. I don't know if you ever drink soy milk. It's good for you. They say it's from soya, but we know that
Correct.
soy milk is genetically modified right now.
Hmm.
So what I did is uh, I eliminated it. It's simple. I
Hmm.
did not buy it. I never buy silk because by deductions, you know, by just simple, I will eliminate, because you know, arthritis, rheumatism, and gout is high acidity, or what they have a technical term for uric acid or something. So my best guess will be, okay, maybe I'll try to eliminate this soy. Maybe I'm too much because I also eat tofu. When you're a plant-based, tofu. They say it's also, there's a debate that there's this thing going on that tofu is not good for you or it's good for you. So there, whoever has the best interest, will have to present their study, for profit. But in any way, I eliminated the soy milk, and then what happens is, lo and behold, until now, I haven't experienced the same pain. So I think that helps for me. It works. I hope it's not masking it, but I felt okay with my ankle. So far, it did not come back. So to me, based on deduction, that was the culprit, at least in my thinking. I may probably experience some other things, but for now, I feel fine without going to the doctor. Yes, Brother Ron, go ahead.
Well, I don't know who wrote this, what you're reading and whatnot, but it's totally true that if you go to the doctor, they don't try to cure you of the problem. They just try to treat the symptoms, which is the pain you're feeling. And in doing so, you feel better. And then say it's your ankle, like you said, and the pain goes away because you took Tylenol or whatever they gave you, and or you self-medicate with Tylenol. You don't even have to go to the doctor for that, but he may say, go home and take Tylenol. Well, that will eliminate the pain temporarily. And then when the Tylenol wears off, it'll come back because the body is still trying to heal itself. And the healing process involves pain, and it's for a reason. The pain is a warning to not get up on your foot. Let it rest. And so God created us and he knows what we need, but the devil has provided some shortcuts. And they're damaging to us. And they remove the pain so that we think we can go on. Well, it's also something that people do when they drink caffeinated drinks.
Right.
They drink it so that they have energy, but their body doesn't have energy. It's just whipping the body up and using your reserves. And so this is all part of Satan's process. His goal, what he's trying to do is to sink us lower and lower and make it more difficult for us to do what's right and what's good. But back to your taking inventory and trying to figure out what was really maybe causing the symptoms. That's a real good idea. And one thing that I think since I believe you're probably on the right path, and it seems to work, but what I noticed about it is the fact that what you mentioned, soy milk, never was available in the Garden of Eden.
Wow. Wow, that's an information. Or soy milk was never. Okay, that's a great point there.
Tofu wasn't available in the Garden of Eden either.
Yes, of course, literally. I agree with you. I don't disprove you.
So if you go back and look at what was available in the Garden of Eden,
right,
and then eliminate anything that wasn't available in the Garden of Eden that you have in your diet, even if you're not experiencing any pain, that's a good start.
Amen. I agree with you, Ron. I did not expect that. Yeah. Simon, literally, it's not from the Garden of Eden, and our program is back to the Garden of Eden, which makes sense. It's logical, right? Yeah. And anyway, thank you. We have some what do you call this? Tips there. So anyway, any other thoughts and question? If I'm not mistaken, this is Sister Melinda. Welcome, Sister Melinda. Can you hear us? Are you there?
Yes, I can. I'm listening to y'all. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you. So let us now return to a healing crisis and its symptoms. They are part of the cure and should not be feared. Just work with the body. Work with the body to help eliminate those toxic waste. The problem right now is if you have pain, you have to that the mentality is go to the counter, over the counter drugs, and put in whatever that is there with the label. Yes, so then that's the problem. Yes, Brother Ron, follow up.
Yeah, what I've learned is that I need to compare what I'm taking into my body and what I'm doing to my body to what it was like in the Garden of Eden. And anything that doesn't fit into that picture, I need to get it out of my. I don't want to take it into my body, and I don't want to use it. So going to the doctor becomes a thing that I only do if I need a surgery of some sort. Say I broke a leg.
Right.
So for that, I need the help of a medical professional who understands how the body is put together and how to patch that leg back up.
Right.
But for pain, you go to the doctor oftentimes, unless they find that you got something like kidney stones or something, they have to do surgery. But for most things, all they do is give you a drug that masks the symptoms, and you think you're okay, and the disease continues.
Correct.
And in many diseases, such as cancer, all they're doing is giving you poison, very strong poison, which will kill not only the cancer, but you. And who dies first, the cancer or you?
Right, right. That's a very brave statement, and I completely agreement because I experienced it personally with both of my parents, as I've said. There are people that I talk to, and they are, I introduced to them what we have been talking in the previous Back to the Roots, part 1, part 2. I had this person that I met, and he introduced himself. He was 44 years old. And he was classified as diabetes, but he would justify that his diabetes is when he was still 5 years old. So meaning he cannot change. I recommended, why don't you fast? But maybe you can tell your doctor or ask your doctor if your fasting will be okay, or change your diet. I'm okay. I'm happy with peanut butter and the turkey sandwich. That's the food that will not shoot up my sugar. So my point being, upon hearing this person, perhaps he's not the only one, is they are already resigned to the fact that they are like that they cannot change. What they can do is just minimize the damage and live as long as they can with the help of the insulin shot in their body or whatever is attached to them, and take the prescription drug. So that is a pity. You still have you have a better life to live ahead of you, but you are now under the mercy of the direction of the doctor, the physician. So that is the point of why we are trying to educate people who are listening right now to go back to Eden, to go back to the roots, instead of just putting your life in the hands of those who had studied the pharmaceutical ingredients, and would recommend to you whatever that could mask, or that could just band-aid, so to speak, your real symptom, which is what you put in your body, or perhaps what you drink. Whatever you put in will affect your system. Yes, Brother Ron.
Yeah, in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve had everything that they needed, and I suspect it doesn't really tell us in Scripture exactly that this was the case, but they never had any aches and pains.
Right.
At all. They never need to treat anything. Now we have aches and pains, and the reasons for aches and pains is because we have disobeyed the laws that God created our bodies to abide by. And sometimes it's not necessarily our fault directly. Maybe we live in an area where we breathe in a lot of contaminants in the air.
Correct.
And instead of being in the Garden of Eden where the air was perfectly benign and perfectly suited to them to breathe. And so now, instead of living forever, or living even to be 1,000 years after they'd sinned, now we're fortunate or unfortunate, maybe as the case may be, depends on how you look at it. We live maybe to be 50 or 60 or 70 or even 80 or 90. But one of the things I've learned is, rather than, I used to take a lot when I was much younger, and that's probably why I'm older now and not. But when I was younger, I used to head for the Tylenol or the ibuprofen or something whenever I was hurting, so I could just keep going. And now I take none of that, never, ever, no matter. And I am finding that as I'm eliminating and have eliminated from my diet the the things that weren't available in the Garden of Eden, the aches and pains have just kind of gone away.
Right.
And then if I do have one, it's often because I have overdone something. I overstretched or overreached and strained something. But hot and cold waters just blood flow to that area. So
Yes.
in your ankle, if you would get in your bathtub or shower and soak it either in hot water or spray from the shower head as hot water as you can stand, what that does is it increases the circulation, blood flow. And it's the blood flow to the affected area that causes the healing process, because it gets the white blood cells, the red blood cells, and it brings in everything that the body needs. And it's like opening up the highway, and it's all clogged up. And so you apply the hot water, cold water, and the blood comes rushing in, and healing takes place much quicker. Whereas
Right.
if you take the Tylenol or ibuprofen, nothing happens except that you don't feel the pain.
Right, right. You know, I did that. I remember during the back to the roots number 2 or second part, I did try the what do you call this hot water treatment. You know, when you have your aches and pains, and I think that it feels good. You know, it feels good. And along the way, we'll probably go in some more and get some and share some more of the wonders of healing wonders of Epsom salt. Have you heard about that? I don't know if you know, those are good. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Epsom soak in, yes,
Yeah, Epsom
because our
salt.
body has a lot of salt in the blood. A certain amount is good. Too much is not good. Too much of anything's not good for that
Of
matter.
course.
God's love, that you can't get too much of that.
Amen.
Epsom salt is good to soak in, and there's a lot of different things that you can do. But mainly it's getting back to eating the same way they did in the Garden of Eden and eliminate those things. You know, we think we got to have milk. I found I can live without any milk of any kind at all.
Right. I'm trying to eliminate that dependence on milk, because they have unfamiliar ingredients there. It seems like it seems like a vitamin, it seems like a chemical something, and I'm trying to eliminate that, because I know less ingredient in the label is a little bit the less evil, so to speak. Yes, Brother Ron.
Yeah, the when you buy pre-made milk, even what's supposedly good, like, you know, soy milk, there's often a lot of ingredients in there that you don't even know what they are.
Yeah, yes, I noticed that.
But then you can also make your own soy milk, which I've
Right.
never done. But
Right.
even so, then you run the risk. You don't know what the soybeans you're getting to make it out of. You don't know how they were raised and what poisons and stuff were used on them.
Right. That's that's
Exactly.
true.
And grow your own fruits and vegetables so that you know what's in them.
Right. And I think as we go along this series, we can, and those of us who will be able to share that, we can share. But back to this reading that I have, it's we are now here in the second paragraph. Open the channels of elimination by means of drinking water, fruit juices, fasting, and enemas, colonics, showers, baths, and water treatment, which we have been talking about right now. Sometimes the pain becomes severe during the crisis. So what it's telling us, it's, hey, pain is not the problem. Pain is just the pain could be a friend here, you know, just but people are less tolerant of pain, you know. But when you are able to be you know, when you are able to tolerate pain and able to overcome them, probably that will help. Drugs taken in earlier years are being pulled out of the tissues in an effort to discard. The damage of many years is being righted. So that's part of the pain there, you know, eliminating those drugs. The body arouses in self-defense and brings forth acute elimination of toxins in the form of a fever, cold, inflammations, itching, boils, ulcers, hemorrhages, extensive menstruational discharge, etc. Reactions vary in accordance with how the person has been living and the condition of the body. Brother Ron, go ahead.
Well, one of the things that I've learned is that the body, when we take into our body things that shouldn't be put into our body has to do something with them. It can't ignore them because it could kill the body, and the body tries to keep itself alive. So it either has to eliminate them or it stores it, tries to put it away where it won't cause any problem, or at least not immediate problem. So there's several ways it can go to store it. Fat is one of the best ways. They can easily store a lot of poisons and toxins in fat. And they can store it in other places like your joints and stuff, which is where you end up with gout and all these other things that they talk about, which simply is pain in your joints. The issues with people who want to go on a diet, say they've gained a lot of weight. And during that time, that weight has been, the body has not only stored the fat, but in the fat has stored all the toxins from whatever things they took that the body couldn't eliminate. It's easier to store it than to try to process it. It takes less energy. So when they go on a diet, then all of a sudden they start having symptoms from all these toxins being released into their system again to finally be dealt with. And so it creates a double problem for someone who has gotten overweight. The body stores those toxins in the fat tissue of the body. So you don't want to be taking in toxins at any time because the body just kind of tends to hang on to them because it's too much work to get rid of them. And then you get sick again when you try to lose weight. It's back to eating. It's the only thing to do.
Amen. You know, that's why we are, let me just be very clear. People right now are just so dependent on the suggestion of the professionals without even thinking clearly that they can also look for alternative ways to heal their body. It seems to me that the whole philosophy of our society now is just continue what you do or eat. You know, the professionals will take care of that. Just continue, enjoy what you enjoy. You know, it's like living in sin. Continue living in sin. Somebody, the church will just make you feel good, and then everything will be okay. And I think the same is true with our health, public health. You know, people are just, I'll just eat whatever I need to eat. Take my insulin. I don't know if you've heard about that. Take my insulin. I'm used to this. I will. I feel I will die if I will not take my sugar or eat my donuts. Or it's the same with smoking. The discharge. I will not live. I cannot survive without this nicotine. Fix. So all of these are bombarding us. So now that we know, how can we help those who are struggling to overcome their own self to get out? They want to get out, but they cannot. But because of their intemperate lack of self-control, lack of self-will, perhaps, or just resign to whatever life they would like to continue eating those unhealthy stuff. So I think that will be we're going to help out those who are probably struggling in these areas. Yes, Ron.
I have a friend who he's been a friend for many years, and we've gone on camp trips, backpack trips, and stuff, and he's wanted to eat kind of whatever he wanted to eat, without any regard to, because he's young enough that it wasn't really affecting him. And he's gradually been putting on weight. And, well, he come up with high blood pressure and was starting to take high blood pressure medications, which I won't even go there. He was just taking it. And so then he was diagnosed as pre-diabetic, and then he became diabetic. And he didn't want to go that route. So I gave him some advice and told him to do, to try to change his diet and stuff. And he thought, he seemed like, well, wow, I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do. Well, I talked to him recently and I asked him how he was doing. And he says, well, I originally thought that this would be fairly easy. I didn't anticipate it was going to be so difficult. And he finds that he's struggling and that it's difficult. And that's the way it is, because in reality, our appetite and eating the things we should know, if we don't know that we shouldn't eat them, but we're sinning against our own body. We're sinning, much sin to eat the things, and damage our body, as if we are committing a moral sin, such as thou shalt not steal. We're actually stealing. We're stealing from ourselves, is what we're doing. We're stealing our health. So but once you got there, it's easy to help people what they need to do, and they can understand what they need to do, but they find that it's much harder than they anticipated, because they try to do it within their own power. It's like overcoming any sin. You have to claim the promises. Christ couldn't have overcome appetite in the wilderness if he hadn't have relied on the word of God and said, it is written. And it's the same with appetite. Appetite at any stage, and Eve and Adam, they didn't overcome appetite because they didn't rely on it is written. Instead, they relied on what the serpent told them. And so when you try to help someone, it's very difficult. I had another friend who I spent time in the army with, and he was my best man. He's no longer alive. He told me at one point, he said, Ron, he says, I look like a giant beach ball. And I have pain everywhere. I can't walk. I can't do this. I can't do that. And that was back 20 years ago. But he was about my age. So he was about 50, about your age, Mark.
Yeah. Thank you.
And so we talked, and he says, what do I do? And I said, well, what you got to do is change your diet. I said, you got to get back eating the way God designed you to eat. And so I started talking about it and talking. And he got quieter and quieter and quieter. And finally, I realized that he wasn't saying nothing, and I was doing all the talking. So I kind of stopped. And then he finally spoke up and said, but Ron, that's no fun.
Yes.
I was no use talking to him anymore. And that's the last time I ever heard from him. And he passed away.
Wow, people loves to bring with them their fun, their eating habits to their graveyard, and that is why we would like to appeal to those of us who are here and those of us who are concerned for the soul of people, for their salvation, to point them to Jesus, the true health reformer and the true physician of our time, the Son of the living God. So that is the reason why we are here today. So how do we work with those who are intemperate? Thank you, Ron, for bringing that experience. I'd like to bring your attention to the messenger of the Lord, Ellen G. White, in her original work, Working for the Intemperate Ministry of Healing. And this is page, what they call this, I think this, let me be page 100. Sorry for the what they call this, for my scrolling here of this PDF form, because of the what they call this. Okay, so let me just so how do we work with those who have no self-control? So I think that is the reason why we would like to educate those people who may not be able to consider this. And I know we cannot force them if they don't want to change themselves, right? So are there anybody here who could say how do we approach and how do we educate those who are intemperate? Maybe it's us or maybe it's others. Ron, help us, please.
Well, from my experience, most of them just want help to get rid of the pain and the suffering, because they've gotten used to that and going to the doctor. And so when they approach you and you suggest to them that they can overcome diabetes completely and recover, they get excited and they say, yeah, I want to do that. But then when you explain to them what they have to give up in order to do that, they lose interest.
Right.
And So I've come to the conclusion that the first thing we need to do is like when Nicodemus came to Jesus. Nicodemus wanted a discussion. It wasn't necessarily about that night about diet and stuff and pain and stuff, but when someone comes to you with wanting to have a conversation about how they overcome this and that, but when you tell them, and so Jesus says you don't need to talk about it and discuss it. What you need to do is be born again.
Mm.
And I've come to the conclusion that unless a person is born again, they're never going to be successful at doing that new start diet and doing and changing. If they're really strong-willed, they might stick with it for a while. But when they feel better and they get better and they no longer have high blood sugar or high blood pressure, then they think they healed themselves and they think they can go back to eating the way they did, and they do, and the diseases come roaring back. So I'm convinced that trying to send someone to a new start program, unless they're willing to be truly born again and live a Christ-centered life, the diet isn't going to work. Well, rarely. There are a few people who claim to live a life of health and whatnot just because they want to live long enough to see their grandchildren. I don't know if that's successful or not. I guess it depends on how much willpower you have, but most of the people I've run into don't have the willpower to stick with it.
Right. I'm in agreement with what you're sharing with us today. It takes the transformation of the mind, because the mind is where God is speaking to us. And so in this kind of work that we are trying to do, people are not so attracted to what we call the health reform message. And I understand that even inside the Seventh-day Adventist Church, there are resistance. And human nature, mastered by Lucifer, Satan, the enemy of God, for thousands of years, able to trick the mind, that health reformation is not needed for our time. But let me read, as I have said, this book by the Lord's Messenger, Ellen G. White. Just a paragraph here, so that we could have a platform to talk about how we can be able to help those who are intemperate. Every true reform has its place in the work of the gospel and tends to the uplifting of the soul to a new and nobler life. Especially does the temperance reform demand the support of Christian workers. So this is a church effort. This is not just an individual, but this is a community effort, so to speak. They should call attention to this work and make it a living issue. So Sister White encourages this living issue, like the Spirit is living, the living Spirit. Everywhere they should present to the people the principles of true temperance and call for signers to the temperance pledge. Earnest effort should be made in behalf of those who are in bondage to evil habits. Earnest effort. So I think this is part, if they are willing, they could be motivated by those people who are advocating for true health reform, especially in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. There is everywhere a work to be done for those who, through intemperance, have fallen in the midst of churches, religious institutions, and professedly Christian homes. Many of the youth are choosing the path of destruction. How true it is in our time today, much worse, perhaps. Through intemperance habits, they bring upon themselves disease, and through greed. So Sister White not only invoked is it a sixth commandment? What they call this? When you are thou shalt not kill, because the seventh commandment is thou shalt not commit adultery. Sister White does not only invoke the sixth commandment, but she is invoking here also the 10th commandment, which is greed, which is thou shalt not covet. So the whole commandments can be summed up in love for God and love for our love for neighbor as we love ourselves, meaning to say what we wanted to live so that we can glorify God should also be what we wanted to share to those people who might want to hear. So Sister White is clear. Through intemperate habits, they bring upon themselves disease, meaning they kill their own selves, which Brother Ron brought up. He was right. And through greed or covetousness to obtain money for sinful indulgence, they fall into dishonest practices. So our society, homes, churches, the community, and the country at large is, under the curse of disobeying not only the sixth or the 10th commandment, but they are disobeying the whole law of God. The planet is in rebellion. That's why we have this problem. Now, our modern problem is not only the ingredients in our food, but also the atmospheric condition. I just wanted to bring up to you this thought. Some of our problems, some of our, what they call this, some of our community here. I don't know if you are aware or not. Thank you, Sister Lori. Recognize that you're here. Thank you for joining us. So some of our neighbors, are into what they call this, not only smoking weed, but also vaping. I don't know if you are aware of that situation. Is vaping a public health concern? I do believe it is, because it's a heavy metal disguised as it smells like a perfume when you smell it or something, but it's heavy metal. It's so insidious that our air is being polluted. That's why I think this has to do with the with the Council of LNGY to be at least near nature, or be in a more suitable condition in the countryside, so that you will not be affected by those who are smoking around you. So the youth are bringing this to the society: vaping, weed, all of these craziness that is happening. And Sister White would say health and character are ruined. And then she wrote, aliens from God, outcasts from society, these poor souls feel that they are without hope, either for this life or for the life to come. The hearts of the parents are broken. Men speak of these erring ones as hopeless, but not so does God regard them. He understands the circumstances that had made them what they are, and he looks upon them with pity. This is a class that demand help. Never give them occasion to say, no man cares for any soul. Ministry of Healing, pages 171, 172. So in our desire to educate people who are concerned for their health and who are desirous to be healing, let us not forget those who are struggling. So if you know someone who is addicted to not only weed or cigarettes, or now the vape, which is now a great public concern, health public concern, then we must do something. And I don't know what we can do as people of God. Any thoughts on what Sister White had said, that how we can help work for the intemperate and those that are those that are struggling? Yes, Brother Ron.
Well, I think the first thing we have to do is make sure that we ourselves are totally surrendered, totally born again, and that we are not obstructing Christ's ability to come soon, or Christ's ability to work in us and to use us. If we don't have our life in order, we're likely to try to help others while we're sharing things that we shouldn't even be doing ourselves, possibly, because they will tend to look to us if we're actually trying to help them, and they will notice what you're doing, and they'll say, oh, I see you're still drinking sodas, or I still see you're doing this, or I still see you're doing that. And so if you go out and try to help someone, and you want to make a disciple, so to speak, they're only going to be as good as you are unless you can point them to Jesus, and they don't look at you, but they look at Jesus.
Right.
So if you want to be a good example to them, you have to be totally, truly converted and totally surrendered to Christ, and have Christ totally in control of your life. Otherwise, you really don't have too much to share other than what going to a doctor.
That makes sense. So this is a very difficult challenge for those who are gospel workers, those who are in the church. I don't know, maybe the first people that we can help, or those that are near us, maybe those that we know that are slaves to this unhealthy addictions. And I see that the United States of America now is flooded with so much public health concern, especially this mushrooming vape industry, and also weed industry, that it seems we are overwhelmed, as you could say, as you are saying, Brother Ron, that we ourselves must be totally surrendered. And I know the enemy doesn't want the message to go out. They're so addicted to these evil habits that it seems that we are that we who would like to help, it seems that we are handicapped, or we have handcuffed to do it. But I don't know, are there any who had experience working with this addiction? Yes, Brother Ron.
If there's any sin in my life, how can I share with someone else how to overcome sin in their life?
Makes sense. Yes. Right. Right. So, yeah, our purpose is the purpose is to show them the only way to God, and that is His Son Jesus Christ. Any other comments or response, Brother Gary or Sister Laurie? You are welcome to our conversation, or to Brother Jay here, so that our listeners could also benefit from maybe your insights or whatnot in our talk here about the working for those who are intemperate. Any insights, Brother Gary, there?
Well, I have. I've also drank, purchased and drank soy milk, but not. I quit buying it because one thing I looked at, because I also mixed it with. Sometimes I would drink almond milk or coconut water,
Right.
and those have very low sugar content. Soy is very high in sugar, and sugar is an enemy of us, and the friend of cancer. So, and then there's one other thing you were talking about. I had to leave the room for a bit. But you're talking about the sixth and seventh commandment. And I was watching a program, a very well-known program called MASH. And Father Mulcahy, they were talking about a gentleman who had committed adultery. And he said, yes, breaking the sixth commandment. And it never hit me before, because I'd watched all these years ago. And I thought, my gosh, the sixth commandment, man, you're off. It's the seventh. And I remember, they changed the order.
Right,
Isn't
right,
that
right. They
interesting?
change.
See how they slip that into TV? People think that's the sixth commandment. They believe what they see. They think, oh, he wouldn't tell a lie. Father Mulcahy wouldn't tell a lie. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting that you share that. Thank you for that. Yes, misinformation, and just we have to be glued in our Bibles all the time. Sister Laurie, welcome. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Thank
Hi.
you.
I wanted to make a comment about the soy milk. I used to buy the soy milk from Costco, and you're right, Gary, it did have a lot of sugar. So
Right.
I switched to Silk organic soy milk, and it has less than 1 gram of sugar, and you still get the high protein, 7 grams of protein in 8 ounces, and you get calcium. So that's why I drink it, for the protein and the calcium, because I don't take calcium tablets. It makes me sick. So I try to get it from my food. But definitely the organic one with no added sugar. It's the unsweetened one. It's like a green, bluish green container. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Good.
Right, right. Thank you for that, Sister Laurie. So all of these could, as I've said, we had to inventorize what we eat and drink, and be able to balance everything, so in order for us to be able to maintain an optimal health. Now, I don't know with you, I'm interested right now, in this stage of my life. I'm Jubilee now. I'm Jubilee, and I'm happy that I was given this gift, Jubilee. 50 years old. It's not my birthday, but I'm saying this month is I'm 50 this month. I am interested in herbs. And I don't know if you had have an extensive knowledge of this herb, because if you go back to Eden, if you go back to Genesis, that's what we are talking about. Herb is mentioned here. The word herb is just in there as as food or as medicine for us. So let me introduce you to this well-known plant, and probably we can share some more of our favorite plants. And I would like to share this with others who may see this plant. Welcome, aloe vera.
Mhm.
Aloe vera, according to this Encyclopedia of Herbs, Lost Herbal, aloe vera is edible. Now, some people might be surprised, but aloe vera could be eaten. Have you tried it, my friends? Have you tried eating aloe vera? I did
I've
try.
tried the juice.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I've tried the juice.
Yeah, believe it or not, it's not really tasty or delicious.
Nah.
It's not it's not like you will fall for it. The reason why I'm introducing this to you is for that reason. It has some benefits. This herbal has benefit. This herb has benefit. So
Antiseptic,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
antiseptic, or yes, we could put it on cuts or burns. And
Yes,
I've got a
yes,
whole bunch of it around here.
right. Yes, aloe vera is edible and is incredibly effective for many afflictions. Yes. I'll let me just read this introduction here. It's not native to North America, but it's been naturalized in many places. According to the author, I find it readily in the Southwest where the weather is warm, and it is easy to grow in pots around the house, which we should. This is a must. It is in the aloe family of Aspodielaceae, or whatever you pronounce it, the Latin aloe family. So the aloe vera plants have succulent leaves that grow 2 to 3 feet. I don't know how big is your plant there, brother Gary, but the plant is stemless or has very short aloe vera leaves, are thick, fleshy, and filled with gelatinous sap. I believe it or not, I ate aloe vera, put it in my what do you call this? Put in my smoothie. So, but I have to confess, it's not the best. So I stopped doing it. That's why I'm putting this. I'm showing this to you because it could help. It might help us in our in our aches and pains, and maybe in our common cuts here. Let me continue reading here. The leaves grow in clumps and are green to gray green, and may have white flecks on the leaf surfaces. The leaf margins are serrated with small white teeth. Flowers appear in the summer on a tall spike growing from the center of the plant. Flowers range in color from white and yellow to orange and red. Now, this is the edible use. Eat aloe vera raw or cooked. So we can eat this. But I don't know if you have to be determined. You have to be born again to have reform in order for you to be able to welcome this as part of your diet. But I would like to highly recommend this. The outer green skin can also be eaten. Oh boy. So now so now we are going to, I don't know if somebody can testify if he had eaten the the what do you call this, the outer green. Have anybody tried eaten? Gary, you have a plant, you have that, you
No,
throw it away,
no,
right?
it's my fallback position. When I'm starving, then I go to my aloe vera.
I knew it. That's why this go ahead, Gary.
Well, I did use. I was able to buy, and I haven't seen it lately, gallon jugs of aloe vera
Yeah,
water.
aloe vera water. Yeah,
And that's what I mixed in with my smoothies instead of liquid, instead of milk, almond milk or something else. And that worked just fine because it's not too strong. It doesn't have, I think whatever you used a little better, a bigger concentrate probably. And that may be where that bad taste came from.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. They're not used to this aloe vera, eating aloe vera. They are used to the advertisement. Aloe vera is for your hair. Aloe vera is for,
Yeah.
yeah, shampoo. But I would like to just encourage those who are viewing us today. Aloe vera really works. That's why I'm bringing this. So, but it may take some time to get used to the. Is it? Can I call it slimy?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it is kind of slimy for sure.
Slimy when you just cube it, and then oh boy, I did put it in my smoothie, and it's good. But for some reason, my human nature says, it's like when you're feeling something in your, when you're wanting to be comforted, you don't go to aloe vera, you go to the chips.
Yeah.
So that's our human struggle. I think Ron will have to reprimand us and say go back to Eden, which we are trying to do. So and anyway, let me continue for the sake of those who wanted to know more about aloe vera here. Don't underestimate this plant, this herb. Well, it's just plant. So it says removing, okay, the outer green skin can also be eaten, but it's bitter and tough. Well, we have been warned. It's bitter and it's tough, meaning it's not the best texture, the best the best attractive what do you call this herb. So removing the skin with a sharp knife leaves the meat and gel inside the plant. So both are, I mean to say, oh, the aloe vera could be eaten the whole thing, except for you just have to clean it well and prepare it well, make it a good presentation. Aloe is good pouched or otherwise gently cooked. Oh, so you could also cook this. Fully cooked, it loses its slimy texture. Yes. Some people enjoy raw aloe as juice or by putting a chunk in their water. Yes. So now let's go to the medicinal use. Aloe vera gel, the gelatinous substance inside the leaf, is used as a relief for sunburn, wounds, and other minor skin irritations. It also has internal uses. When my wife and I she was discussing about the dandruff thing, and I said, you don't need to buy the shampoo or you don't need to buy those expensive things. Aloe vera is there, but you know what? She's not used to it. She's not used to it. So what I do is I'll just put it in her head, force it in her head. See, no more dandruff. And oh boy, she wanted to just get it off her. But I said, that's good for you. That's good for you. But I don't know why people don't like those sliminess, but it's good for them because we are being conditioned to, the bottled product is better than the plant, the actual plant. But in the bottled product, there's aloe vera, the ingredients aloe vera. I said, why don't you just go to the real one and use it? So yeah, that's so when I have, when I don't use shampoo, by the way, but no, please don't judge me. You can see my hair. I use aloe vera, or I don't know if you have used, for the sake of our viewers, I hope you will not judge me as well. Have you used lemon in your hair? I did use lemon for my hair, and probably that's the reason why it's still there. So, but believe it or not, many people will not they will not do it. They will not do it. But I just do it. That's why I'm sharing aloe vera and the natural things from Eden, so to speak. So the medicinal use of aloe vera is very important. That's why we have to maintain this in our garden or in our backyard for relief of sunburn, wounds, and other minor irritation. So how to use aloe vera? For external use, split the leaf long ways. Split the leaf long ways with a knife and scrape the gel from the leaf's interior. The author says, I most often use it as a soothing salve directly on the skin. Amen. It is a salve. Salves are important, especially this winter. So maybe you could try it. But I know the feeling of sliminess there. It may be a challenge, but please try it. For internal use, try 1 to 2 ounces or 28 to 85 grams of the gel added to juice. Since the gel can be unpleasant, and bitter when taken alone. Heartburn relief and irritable bowel syndrome. Consuming 1 to 3 inches or 28 to 85 grams of gram of aloe vera gel with each meal reduces the severity of acid reflux and the associated heartburn. It also helps cramping, which I believe it or not, in my age, I have a lot of cramping. I don't know with you, but I have a lot of cramping in the legs. Abdominal pain, flatulence, and bloating caused by irritable bowel syndrome. However, there are some safety concerns. It may cause irritation. So use internally with care for these conditions. Bleeding or swollen gums. Aloe vera extract makes a safe and effective mouthwash. Would you agree with this? Friends, could you help us with this information? It seems going to be against our but if you're trying to save money or if you're trying to go natural, then I would highly recommend it. Have you tried, Brother Gary, have you tried aloe vera as your what do you call this, as your mouthwash? Have you tried it?
No, I haven't. No, I have to draw the line somewhere. You know, there may come a time, but you know, while we're talking about cramping, something that works for me, it works so fast that as soon as I take it and get back to bed, my cramp is gone.
What's
and
that?
that is dill pickle juice.
What's the
People
dill?
throw it away. They eat the pickles, throw away the juice. The juice is absolutely a cure for cramps, as far as I'm concerned.
So dill, what's that again? So that our viewers or listeners could.
Well, dill pickle juice. You know, when you buy dill pickles, whether you buy the spears or the sliced kind of or the hamburger, whatever ones you have, it comes in a liquid. And I know it's sodium, but you know the fact is that cramps are usually caused from a lack of that. You know, lack of water or whatever. But this works for me. Sometimes I even get one in my toe. Oh, those little buggers keep you from sleeping. You know. But I'll go in and get a little, take a half an ounce of pickle juice, and by the time I'm back to my bed, it's gone.
So you just rub it on your legs or feet?
No, I drink it.
You drink it? Okay. So it's internal. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. So thank you for that. Thank you for that tip. Yeah. And so you plant aloe vera, Brother Gary, but you seems to avoid it like a plague.
Well, I love the plant. The plant is, you know, and it's easy to grow. There's hardly anything you have to do to it. And right now, all mine are blooming with this great big shoot going up the center with orangey, reddish orange flowers, and they're really pretty. And then I have the little small ones that are, you know, closer to the ground. And
Right.
but they all work the same way. You know, they all the juice or whatever in there is it all they're not, I don't know, they're probably different parts of the species. You know, there's different types of them. But I believe, and I've used it on burns. I've used it on skin irritations, on things like that. But I haven't tried it internally yet. So
Yes. Well, Sister Yolanda, welcome. We recognize your presence here in our conversation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, the aloe vera can be used for a mouthwash. So that's according to this Lost Herbal book here. So let me continue reading for our viewers here. Aloe vera extract makes a safe and effective mouthwash that reduces swelling, soothes, and provides relief from bleeding or swollen gums. Try adding the gel to the final rinse water and swishing it around, holding it in the mouth for a minute, then spitting it out. So maybe we can try that so that we don't spend money for mouthwashes. Yeah, but I don't know if you must be born again to true health reform, as we have been discussing. Now, aloe vera is also good for lowering blood sugar in diabetics. If you suffer from type 2 diabetes, you can regulate your blood sugar levels by simply ingesting 2 tablespoons of aloe vera juice or pulp extra daily. This information the doctors will not like, or the pharmaceutical companies will ban for sure. Because just by using the humble aloe vera, you can regulate your blood sugar. And they don't want that. They want you to be insulin dependent. At least they will be able to to make money out of your ignorance. So that's the reason why they make money because of the ignorance of people. So we are bringing this to their attention. Laxative. Okay, so laxative. Aloe vera gel relieves constipation but should be used sparingly. Any thoughts or any comments on here so far as I've been introducing to you the aloe vera that you may want to help other people go to the back to the Eden. Yes, brother Gary, go ahead.
Well, I haven't tried that for a laxative, and I don't use laxatives generally, but they aren't really good for you, the pills that you buy in the store. But I'll tell you what, I found something quite by accident, and it's a tea. It's a tea that you can buy. I got mine at Walmart, but you can buy it online too. And it's called Smooth Move.
Smooth.
And you take it, you drink that tea before you go to bed at night, and the next morning, you get results. At least it worked for me when I tried it. The box had like 16 pouches in it or whatever, and it's not something. Even though it's all herbal, and I'm very big on homeopathic medicines. I prefer taking herbal over anything man-made any day. But,
Right.
Somebody might, and see their aloe vera is also, it's not man-made, it's natural. So,
Right.
so
Smooth move. Yeah. Okay. We'll take note of that. Sister, any other comments? Any other contributions that you would like to contribute on this? What do you call this? In this discussion, back to Eden, back to the roots, part 3. As we, yes, Sister Laurie, any contributions, or Sister Yolanda there?
Yeah, I was thinking, I was introduced to the Smooth Move tea a few years ago when a friend was in the hospital, and they said, "Oh, please go get me this tea. I have to have it." Yeah, and I did use it once, and it worked really good. And it's something, natural to have on hand. Gargling with aloe vera, I just can't see that because it's so thick. So they must maybe add water to it or something to gargle, right? Rinse your mouth out. Yeah, I haven't tried that. And about the leg cramps, I get those every once in a while. They say it's a lack, it's either dehydration or lack of minerals like magnesium or potassium, something like that. But there must be something in that pickle juice, Gary, because it helps you.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll work for everybody, but you know what? I have watched some college football and stuff, and football, a lot of the players, especially when they play in hot places, they get leg cramps. And I did notice somebody said, one of the coaches or something was using pickle juice. Was having his members, the team members, drink it before game, and got way down on their leg cramps. In fact, they completely almost went away. So, yeah, it's just, and like I say, it may not work for everybody because we're all different.
Right.
Our bodies are not all the same. What works for one person might not work for the next.
Right. Right. Yeah. Thank you for that contribution, Sister Yolanda. Any insights from our conversation there?
Yeah, I haven't tried the Smooth Move, but I have heard of it and I've seen it, and I'm curious what the ingredient is. The
Senna.
primary ingredient. Senna.
Well,
Senna
Senna
leaf.
is one of them. Senna.
Okay, that makes sense. I've heard that senna is effective too.
The what now?
Senna is a herb.
Senna. I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, that's I think the most major ingredient in that Smooth Move tea.
Yeah, because Maureen, my neighbor, the Mormon, she was told that she should use senna, and so they got her some, and it was in a pill. So I guess you can get it, they put it in capsules and you can take it like that.
Wow. That's good to hear. So, Brother Gary, were you able to see the ingredients as what Sister Yolanda said?
Yes. Here's what's in it: organic senna leaf,
Senna
and
leaf.
then it's a proprietary blend which is organic licorice root, organic fennel fruit, organic orange peel, organic cinnamon bark,
Okay.
organic coriander fruit, or which is also what do you call it? Cilantro.
Cilantro. Yeah.
Organic ginger
Mm.
rhizome, and organic orange peel oil on gum Arabic. Anyway, wow, it's all organic. So shoot, that's a good sign right there, as far as I'm concerned. It's all herbal.
Yes, a smooth move. Yes, as that's a parallel of what we are trying to promote here. Aloe vera. I'm trying to promote the humble aloe vera. So smooth. Well, friends, you can also try it. So, yeah, and if you have skincare, believe it or not, sunburn or eczema, aloe gel is soothing on the skin. And I don't know if you will like the sliminess there, but thank you, Gary. Thank you. I see that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't think you will like this, but try it for those of you who would like to save money, or you just wanted to, have your garden also a part of your garden is this herb aloe vera. So they according to the author, aloe gel is soothing on the skin and an excellent remedy for sunburn, skin abrasions, eczema, and other mild skin irritations. It also keeps skin clear and hydrated. Excellent as a moisturizer and pain reliever. Wow, it's nice. So why don't we try it? It's a pain. Warning, long-term external use of aloe vera is not recommended due to the latex found in aloe vera. Do not use internally while pregnant. Do not use if you have hemorrhoids or kidney issues. Okay, so that's the warning that we have to be careful of. Any other thoughts and comments here that you would like to about my presenting to you the humble aloe vera?
Oh,
Yes.
I did have something. Magnesium is supposedly a laxative. And so Sister Gay was telling me to share this with Sister Maureen. And apparently you can use Epsom salt.
Yes,
Just like
Epsom salt. We talk about it. Yes.
you did already. Okay.
No. We just in passing. I just mentioned, but maybe in the next few days we will have more on those
Oh,
things. Yeah, water or
yeah.
olive. Yeah. So yeah. So continue, Sister Yolanda. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So I was just sharing what she said. She said it definitely works in that you could put a tablespoon, I think she said, in a gallon of water and you consume it however long it takes you, but it is guaranteed to move your bowels. And that's a
Wow.
natural method as well.
Have you
Yes.
ever tried that?
I haven't, but apparently these other like enemas and saline things, they have magnesium as their primary ingredient. So it
Yes.
does move the bowels. I don't know if it gripes you, but she said, if you drink plenty of water with it, it's effective and maybe not as like painful as like Ducalox and some of these other things.
Yeah, I drank the Epsom salts in a cleanse. I was doing a liver cleanse. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
The taste is just horrible. But yeah, so there's different types of magnesium. The magnesium citrate, that's the one that moves your bowels, cleanses you really well.
Uh-huh.
And then the magnesium glycinate is good for stress relief, anxiety, and to help you sleep. So you would usually take those, I think, in the evening at night to help you. Either way, either one you're taking, it will help you sleep or help your bowels in the morning.
Wow.
Good to know.
Brother Jay, I think you mentioned to me magnesium also helps you. Is that true? Is that correct, what Sister Lori was saying?
Yeah, but I didn't know which one it was, so I guess I got lucky. I was trying to have better sleep. I got deeper sleep.
Yes, you were lucky.
Yeah, the glycinates for sleep. That's the one I use. Yeah.
Yeah, I got deeper sleep and more restful in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? So can you show
Yeah.
us your product? We're not promoting here. This is not a
Okay.
paid presentation here. But I'm
Okay,
excited because my sleep is shallow right now. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been thinking too much, or So what's that again, Laurie? This technical term, magnesium.
Oh, You know, it's funny. I just ran out, so I don't have a bottle to show you, but
Can you
magnesium.
put it in the chat too?
Or can you put
Yeah.
it, yeah, can you show it to our viewers if ever?
Well,
if-
I don't have any bottles. I ran out like a week ago, so I'm supposed to get some tomorrow, but it's glycinate, magnesium glycinate with a G is the one for
anxiety,
stress relief, and to help you sleep.
Glaciate, what's your brand? Is it Nature's Work? Whatever.
My doctor prescribed and I get metabolic maintenance.
Oh, okay. So it's it's over the counter also, right?
Yeah, I buy mine online, but yeah, you can buy it online. I don't know if they sell them locally in the stores, but you can get, different magnesiums. Yeah, I'm sure you could get that at the stores, just not the brand I said.
Right. So Jay, you may have your own. Jay, go ahead. Show it to us.
Well, it's different. It says has citrate, but it has aspartate. But it says it has,
Is that better? Is that good?
Oh, I don't know about that one.
I don't know, but it has citrate in it. So
Yeah,
Aspartate.
citrate. That's to help you go to the bathroom one.
Okay,
oh,
triple
but look,
magnesium
it
complex.
says
Okay.
here. It
This
says
is mine,
here.
triple magnesium complex.
It says
I
helps-
figured if because some of them don't work and some of them do work, and so I figured if I got one with 3 of them in there, I'd have a better chance of it working properly. But it's magnesium oxide, magnesium just a minute, citrate, and
Citrate.
magnesium aspartate.
Oh, you got the same, huh?
Yeah,
it
the
says
same.
helps relax muscles.
Okay.
Oh,
We don't
okay.
get enough in our diet, and we need a supplement of magnesium. Is what I understand.
Yes. I heard about the power of magnesium. I heard about magnesium, yes, from my visit also to other One True God believers. Yes, they are taking. So maybe it's time for us to. I haven't considered that adding because when you say good sleep, we need good sleep. So yeah, Sister Yolanda, you have any other secret of your good sleep? Good sleep.
No, I didn't know about the good sleep part. And so I would like for someone to type it in the chat. I don't know what to look for.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have a formula for you to
Please.
Nice.
determine how much you need, how much magnesium you need. Okay, so you take your weight, divide it by 2.2, and then times that by 10.6. And that will give you the milligrams of how much magnesium you need a day.
Okay. So weight times
Weight divided by 2.2. I think it converts it into kilograms.
Yeah, divided by 1 kilogram.
Yeah, and then times 10.6.
Okay.
And that will give you the milligrams. For example, I think mine was like around 612. So I figure, okay, I need 600 milligrams.
Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, magnesium. I heard a lot about that too. Yeah.
Can you put that dosage in the chat too, please?
Yeah, I'll put that in there.
Sister Yolanda,
Thank you.
you also want to have a good sleep like me, huh?
Well, I don't have trouble sleeping, but I think it might be helpful for Maureen. And so I'm going to share with her. Yeah.
Yeah, magnesium glycine. That's good, because that's part of our helping others who are, as we have read from Ministry of Healing a while earlier, we have to be caring for these people who have been
Yes.
being
And I
addicted
know
to.
there are people like my one daughter, she was taking melatonin to try to help her sleep. And then she said after a while, it didn't really help her. It was like you have to be very still or your body it doesn't do enough to get you to fall asleep.
Right. So yeah, and I hope that will work. So yeah, Jay, you have something to say? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I missed one night, so then I took it first thing in the morning, which I'm not sure if it was bad, but then
Fell asleep on the job.
yeah, my eyes were very sensitive to light, and they were hurting like The only thing that helped me was to take a nap and to go to sleep because my eyes were painful the whole day.
Oh my.
Wow. So don't take it in the mornings. Yeah. Take
Yeah.
it at night.
It's
So
like you have to go to sleep or else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah, so yeah, that would be nice because I really crave for a deep sleep and yeah. Sister Yolanda, I think it's in the chat now. Sister Laurie put in there and
Oh, great. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
thank you. So
You're
that is
welcome.
a valuable information. So thank you for that, Sister Laurie, and the others who had what they call this experienced this. So at least you can help Maureen and also probably what do you call
Yeah,
it?
my daughter, if I was talking to her, I could definitely share with her. I might share with her sisters and it'll get to her. But yeah, that's really good information.
Amen and amen. So, what they call this? As we continue to share this, what they call this information to others, we are reminded of the work of Christ here on earth. That he essentially listened to the needs of others and also to the to their different illnesses and healed them using his his divine powers and being able to heal those people, the blind, the crippled, the sick, and all the people who have infirmities. Then we are doing also that great ministry of healing. Now, in our case, we may not be able to to do the healing part, but we can recommend and educate them of these practices, of this good information for them to be healed. Yeah. So hopefully you can, Sister Yolanda, you can introduce this to Maureen and maybe you can try it yourself and let us know if this is effective or not.
Yeah, I don't have trouble sleeping, but I mean, I don't mind trying it out just to see. I don't want my eyes burning if if I don't go to sleep immediately.
Right. You're right. So yeah, and so in the next few days of our time here, we it's just going to share the information. And today we are able to share this aloe vera. And I do hope you appreciate the aloe vera as well, Sister Yolanda, or everybody else, Laurie or Gary.
I
And
didn't hear everything, but I have used it and it's growing in my place. And so I do see the medicinal purposes of it. Even with my horse's eye, I've applied it and she's been very cooperative with it. So I know it's soothing. The one eye that's missing, it has like some discharge. And so I put aloe vera on it, and so
Mm.
she didn't mind that at all. And I would imagine, yeah, we did. We gave it to Sister Gay's cat, and so I can imagine taking it orally, but it is kind of bitter. It's not very tasty to
We
eat.
understand. Yes,
Yes.
we understand. That's why it's a struggle. It's a struggle. If I'm a salesman, I'm a failure to everybody here right now because of the. It's not only slimy, but it is bitter and tough, and it's a hard sell. But aloe vera is good. I use it. I have it on my refrigerator actually, and
And it's also very therapeutic on your hair. Did you talk about that?
yes, we talked about that. I talked about my wife.
Okay.
She wanted to
Mm-hmm.
have the shampoo, but I said no. Aloe vera is there. It's free or something. But we are grateful that that we can be able to share this information to others in any ways that we can. So it's good for us. But the warning here, please don't forget the warning of aloe vera. Long-term internal use of aloe vera is not recommended due to the latex found in aloe vera. Do not use internally while pregnant, and do not use if you have hemorrhoids or kidney issues. Meaning, this is not for everybody. This is for those who are able to what they call this to have to avoid such continuous use or long-term use. So maybe occasionally. That's why it's bitter and that's why it's also not so tasty or slimy. And anyway, I'm very grateful for your time. And some of us here um have already left. So are there any other questions or thoughts or I would like to conclude here. Maybe we can meet again tomorrow if ever you are free. Any other comments or final thoughts here? Yes, Jay, would you like to say something?
I picked this one following your lead because of the less ingredients. This one had the fewest or ones that I didn't know. So that's why I picked this one.
Yeah, less ingredients that you don't understand, and perhaps ingredients that you can read and understand. It's better. And
Yeah.
when you read something that you're familiar, then probably that's fine. I would go for two or three ingredients, but if there's a lot of them, I need to check it out. What's the side effects or something? But it's time consuming, so we just have to educate ourselves of, we cannot assume everything that they are putting there is good. So that's our accountability. That's our lookout. Yes, Jay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So thank you very much, Ron and Gary and Laurie, for joining us today. And let us, and my family are here. My family are listening. Let us close this with a word of prayer. Our Father in heaven, I'm grateful for the information we shared, and thank you so much for the time we had. And as we continue to educate and be an example, may we be born again, in the Spirit of God, in your Holy Spirit, and in this desire to be sealed for your soon return. May we embrace the true health reform message, and that is to take care of our bodies and also share this message to others who are willing to understand and to receive. May your only begotten divine Son bless us today. I pray in His name. Amen.